What is happening, everybody? You already know who it is. It is your boy, your guy, your one and only, Estu Chico, Spicy Poppy Chris, in the house, the in-house chef, today, ready to kick things off for another great episode. Today, the title of this episode is "I Hate You So Much, Hate You So Much." Can't wait to get into it. I'm really excited, glad to be back, kid.
Man, what's happening? I'm your boy, Kid, Ashli, Believe the Hype. I'm seem like I'm back in my right frame of mind this week. Ashli, what's up? I was kind of waiting there when you kind of opened. I didn't know what the hell was going to happen. So I guess Ash, what's up?
Not so much, guys. I'm just excited for another episode. Just been a long day, so you'll be seeing this wonderful wine every now. Yes, look, cheers. You'll be seeing this wine across the screen. Hopefully, whoever's watching with us, you got some. Yep, you got some in your hand too. I'm ready. How about you, Loni? Oh,
I'm good. I was actually snacking on this little peanut butter. It's been a long day for me too. I usually try and pull myself together for y'all, but y'all finna get this too big T-shirt
about
these old braids because I'm tired. And I got peanut butter in my teeth because I've been snacking already on our Tasted or Wasted. So my mouth a little juicy. But yeah, I'm good. I got a new internet situation is being connected. So if you see a stranger in my home, he's not that kind. He is the guy. Just ignore him. He's gonna walk back past to my television. Just ignore him. But I'm good. Yeah, I low-key was missing Ashli's rendition of Spicy Poppy Chris because that was hilarious. Like last week was nuts. Like that whole
Hilarious.
That was good. Kid, with your whack ass internet, my internet is trash. So you having issues. People thought that you was trying to play me, which it made sense, but you was really having some Loni internet issues last week.
Yeah, it was on some Freaky Friday Twilight Zone shit for real because everything that I was trying to embody about you came true. So that I'm like, I can't play like that no more because I'm like, damn, I'm really having issues over here. And people thought that I was throwing shade, but no.
You got to check. So now y'all, my struggle. So next time my internet gets to freezing and I'm choppy, don't laugh. Feel sad for me because that's a horror. It's not cool. I feel isolated.
It channeled the whole Loni.
It did.
Perfect time, and it just worked out so well.
It did.
For real.
How did you feel with Ashli doing her Spicy Poppy and the whole? How did that feel for you?
That made me feel proud. I feel like she channeled me in total. Like, and she was eating the entire episode. Like I already do that as it is. I'm just like, she really had. Her food description was perfect. It was a bowl of fruit. I think that was the funniest part. It was a bowl of fruit, and she broke it down so well. It's like, how can you be so specific about a bowl of fruit? It's fruit. She did a great job.
Got that fruit. That was a very Chris thing to do. But
you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I had to channel my inner butterfly. That is Therapist Bay. It was kind of good to wind down a little bit and just kind of be at ease and just like process things. And I got to channel Ashli a little bit more because I'd be out here in the streets just being crazy.
Yeah, me too.
It was good. I think it was dope.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was telling you guys earlier that I don't really show you guys that energetic side, so it was fun to show you guys the random. I think Loni sees it every now and then, like when I'll be my ratchet, loud self, but I don't really show it that much on Instagram. So I got a lot of messages where people thought it was really funny just to see just energetic Ashli, because usually like calm. Chris was just like, yes, and all of that. That is usually the persona that I pull off. So it was nice just to be energetic and just really not care.
What was your favorite thing? What was your favorite Ashli thing that Chris did? I'm going to ask everybody the same question, so y'all be thinking.
Gotcha.
I think my favorite thing was just like how deliberate he was. Like he really took his time. He was like, he really talked slow. And I know that for him, that had to have been hard because I really talk slow as shit. Like I talk slow as hell. So I was laughing because I was like, I know he was, so I really saw you slow yourself down. And that was really funny.
What did you, Chris? What was your favorite spicy poppy thing of Ashli?
I think to see somebody else like try to have my energy, I'm like, really? Is that how I am? But I can see like she was very descriptive. She was very very, I guess, energetic and wild. And that was a side of me that I haven't seen in somebody else, but then a side of Ashli herself that I was just like, I could appreciate this. I like this. So it's kind of like seeing what I am as a person and then like the other side of Ashli, which I really appreciated. So
yeah, Kev.
You know what? It was crazy. It was phenomenal. But I do think that, well, I believe that, you are like the female version of who I am. So you was able to embody that and take it to the next level. And it was just hilarious to me. And I think what really stood out was like at the end of the letter, when like I go into the spiel about if you're going to send me the letter, and you was like, it don't matter what genre it is. I know all music. I know all the songs. There's no song that I don't know. I fucking lost it, because to me, that is me, because I have gotten into debates with people before about music and shit, because I am that much of a music lover. And I just think when you did that was it. It embodied everything and encompassed. And then you had the graphic tee, you had the Prince tee, you had the baseball cap. And yeah, it was just hilarious. And then you know what? Another thing too is that after, behind the scenes, after the show was over with, I sent you a couple of photos and you did side by sides. And that was just so, I got so many comments off of that. People was like hitting me. They was like, yo, y'all look alike for real. And that shit was just uncanny. The poses, the way we was looking, none of that shit was that scripted at all. No. And that's what's so amazing about us as a unit. The four of us, that what makes it dynamic. So I thought that was dope.
Yeah, man. That episode, I think I've watched the episode like 3 times at this point. It just tickles me so much. Like, Ashli was like, I had a thought about a thought when I thought last night of my thoughts, and I died. I died because that's so like thinking about thinking. So I died laughing at that. When Kid got the clapping, talk about some, I died because I stay clapping. And then talking about some Aunt Sally, I think, when you kind of talk about Aunt Flo. Chris having to focus on talking slow, being super high energy and reminding himself, like, man, that episode was so good. And it was good to just be something different. And I think I told y'all this after we recorded last week, like, we really like a family, like this unit. Yeah. And I think being able to channel each other the way that we did, like, showed that. And also, like, makes it very clear that each of us brings something to the table that the other could not replicate, clearly. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could put on the kid. It took me days to come up with them damn lyrics for lyrics to go. That is not my forte. Can you see a letter and you like, oh, I got songs in my head? No, baby. I'm scrolling through Snapchat and Pinterest and Target.com looking for music lyrics, okay? So, it was good. That was so fun, y'all. You know
what was funny, Loni? Go ahead, Kay. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it's funny that you mentioned that shit, because it took me hours on end to come up with a decent rant. Every time I thought of something, I say, no, Loni wouldn't talk about this shit. I just kept scrapping it. I'm like, that's your lane. You kill it every time. It took me forever. And then I finally thought about some shit. I said, you know what? And I just kind of went with it. I didn't know how it was going to come across, but I guess it went over well because I must have did it good. But I did not think I was going to do that. I did not think I was going to nail that at all, because I just couldn't think of shit. I really couldn't. And I had the hardest time trying to figure that shit out.
It was spot on. The only thing I would have added was a list of suggestions for grown women to have, like, apps to track their cycles. That's the only thing I would have added, was for you to get your Apple app or some type of app to know your cycle. Yeah, not out in the world and you just discovering. Like, that'd have been the only thing. But yeah. What was you saying, Chris?
You know what? I like, Loni must have said Alabama Black Snake about maybe 4 or 5 times during the duration of the episode. She was just like, because I love music. I love music, Alabama Black Snake, and she just threw it out there casually. And I'm just like, yo, That's Ked. Ked has Ked. You probably say Alabama Black Snake at least once every episode.
So annoying. That is so annoying. I just had to keep saying it because that's Ked.
She said it and then would be like, and then move on to something else. I'm like, how do you end a thought with Alabama Black Snake?
Right.
That was funny. That was funny.
That was good.
So, with that being said, I think this is a perfect segue to move on to my favorite segment entitled Taste It or Waste It. And tonight, guys, I got these. I was going to wait and do a review on Instagram, but I think I'm just going to do it right here. These are the Fishies, the Smart Sweets, Swedish fish from the Vitamin Shop. So, can't wait to dig into these. These shouldn't be that bad. What do you got, Ash?
I actually have nothing tonight for Taste It or Waste It.
Let's see that wine you got.
Go ahead.
So this is my first time trying this one. It's Cupcake Vineyards. It's Black Forest. As you saw, I sipped it, and I do like it. I know that wine or alcohol can be a really touchy subject after surgery. So people might want to know, like, how long did I wait? I did not wait long. I waited like 3 months after I had surgery to try alcohol. And it did burn going down. So, don't be like me. Do as I say, don't do as I do. So, yeah, that's what I have tonight.
The disclaimer is that we are not doctors. We are humans, and we do what we want to do, including drink wine.
Pretty much. Kid, what do you have?
I'm providing color commentary tonight for different reasons. I just got a bottle of water with, I'm gonna leave it at that. Boogie.
Cheers. I got some banana ribbons from Trader Joe's.
Ooh.
They're actually they're not very good to me by themselves, but if you have,
were they by the condoms?
They buy the condoms. They're right by it. It's the condoms up top, and then the peanut butter ribbons right below.
How many people are looking for condoms? How many people right now looking for condoms?
They got condoms at Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's, because they might have some different type. Can you imagine the different flavors and seasonings on some condoms? The nothing but the elote, or
I was telling Mary yesterday. I was talking to somebody yesterday. I was talking to Mary. I was just like, isn't that interesting? I'm gonna go to Trader Joe's. I actually happen to go to Trader Joe's tomorrow. What if they had it like pork belly flavored ribbed condoms? And I'm just like, damn, that's something I would get.
That is a deep section waiting to happen. That's kind of like, you don't have to be at the doctor, sis.
If you're the lucky one that finds the condoms, just hit us up with an email and let us know how it goes.
Please do.
Not the pork belly ones. We don't want them. So I got some peanut butter. This, of course, is my favorite one. But I actually like the Biscoff that Ashli told us about. I like these two together.
And the chips.
Yeah.
Sound good. Hell, you had some peanut butter on some damn apple cinnamon rice cakes the other day. That shit looks so fucking good.
Those Quaker.
I gotta try that, man. I really do. I gotta try that.
It is so, and it's like feeling. I ended up not even eating dinner yesterday because I ate. I think I did the serving size of the crisp, not the peanut butter, but of the crisp, and I was so full. Like I didn't eat dinner last night. They're delicious.
About how many of them can you eat?
I think 6. I think you have 6.
Okay. That's not bad.
No, that's with some peanut butter.
Look, the inner fat kid in me tries to make sure that I can get a good serving out of shit.
Yeah, it don't matter. You're gonna be full after like 3 anyway. Chris, are they good?
Want one?
I do.
They're actually really good. They're good. They taste just like Swedish fish. Ked, you mentioned this before. I think Smart Sweets, they have a good product. It's just that coating that they put on them, that artificial sugar, is a no-go for me. I'm not a fan of that. I like the gummies. I love the gummy bears, but they got one, I think it might be the sour or something, where they put that little pixie dust shit on top of it. I don't like it because it tastes like they dumped Sweet and Low on them, and it sucks. I mean, but just the regular gummies, I'm fine with, because it's thinking something like 3 grams of sugar in them. But I will say this, like Elle said, we're not doctors or nothing by any means. We do what we want. Sometimes I just gotta have the real thing. So sometimes I want to go get me some Haribo some sour gummies, or I might get some Sour Patch Kids. But hey, I follow recommended servings, and you will find actually that candy
Like you might maybe eat 17 jelly beans or Mike and Ike's, and it's only like 90 calories and shit. But you do have to watch the sugar intake on that. So yeah, you see, look, Ashley got the sour Skittles. You know, I always say it.
Macros on that.
Huh?
What's the macros? Like how many carbs and sugars and all that?
Almost choked. This is for per one bag. 42 grams of carbs, 22 grams of fiber, 3 grams of total sugar, and then 90 calories for the whole bag.
Oh,
That's
like a
not
good.
No, not at all.
I've seen them at Whole Foods. Like I've gotten the peach rings at Whole Foods, which I don't like, but I'm gonna have to try those.
Yeah.
They're good. They're about $3 and some change. I'll taste these again. What about your banana slices? What about your wine, Ash?
Oh, I would definitely drink another glass. So, like, you know,
Hey.
I'm not trying to finish this on this show because I'd be like sweating profusely somewhere in a corner. But I'm gonna have another glass, I'm sure. Yeah. But I must admit, you guys, since I've had surgery, I haven't had a rice cake or anything. So, like, I hear you guys, and I just remember hating rice cakes in the past. So I think I need to give that another shot.
Oh, same. I didn't like the texture. Like I'm a big texture person. The consistency of rice cakes have always kind of stressed me. Like I feel like I'm eating that wrap that goes in packages, and it just
Right.
But the smaller ones I do like because they're kind of they have more like crunch and like structure to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like them. They got the cheese ones too that I can eat with like a sandwich or something. They got a bunch of different flavors that are pretty good.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. When I think about rice cakes, I think about when I was a kid on a diet and like I was just like struggling trying to find my way out.
Right.
Like rice cakes is like prison food on the cool in my mind. I hate to say it.
Yeah, it's trigger food. No, that's real. It's trigger food. That's why
I hate the plain ones though.
Premier Protein. I hate that I even said their damn name on this show. I am sorry. Premier, I don't F with you. Shout out to Big Sean. I don't F with you. That's how I used to feel about protein drinks. Because I did 17 days of only protein drinks. So right after surgery, I was like, I felt like triggered. Like, I can't drink that. I'm not drinking that. I'm triggered. No. So I get it.
Oh yeah.
My bad.
You know what? Go back to what Ashley. No, you good. Go back to what Ashley was saying about. You know, I tried rice cakes many years ago, diet food, younger, and you know, I have found that now after surgery, post-op at my age now, more stuff is more palatable than it was when I first tried it years ago. I mean, you know, like you couldn't get me. You would have never got me to drink a Minute Maid Light, nothing, anything with zero sugar. You would have never got. I would have told you. It's either that or just give me straight sugar or give me the water. But you know, you just condition your mind, and when you know better, you do better. So I mean, and it's not bad tasting. Like the Minute Maids, the zeros now, those are really good, and it pairs well with Tito's. Tito's, y'all holler at your boy, y'all holler at the pantry because we pubbing y'all up. It pairs really well with Tito's and just stuff like that. So I've got to give those rice cakes another shot because I haven't tried them since, and it's probably been 20 years. And when I saw you had them and you put that peanut butter on them, I said, I bet that shit is really good.
Well, kid,
Ones are really good.
Yeah, next week. That's
next week, kid.
Next week with the rice cakes. We're gonna try them. That's a word.
I'm gonna bring me some rice cakes and peanut butter for the taste of the wasted.
Hey.
Write it on my list. Rice cakes.
That's the perfect.
Rice cakes.
Before we go into what we here for, can we just back up 1 second? Because I got a rant and I feel like it came upon me. And it's gonna be so quick. It's gonna be so quick, and then we're gonna go into why we here. And that is simply, first off, my gratitude, right? I try to be a very gracious person. Thank y'all for sharing your recipes with me. Thank you for posting your recipes and like helping us and motivating us to meal prep. Thank you. However, if your kitchen and your house is not clean, I need you to position that camera so it only shows us the stove. That's it. Only show us the stove. If you know it is laundry day and you got a 10-mile high pile of laundry on your couch, if your kids, they pick up their lunch from yesterday, if your husband on the couch butt naked looking like a polar bear, whatever is going on in the background, we can see it. Don't. Turn that, like Ashley just did, turn your cameras off. Turn your phone off and come back to us after you have cleaned up. Or get some cans and prop your phone up on top of the cans. Sit your phone on the cans like this, to where all we see is the food that you are preparing for us. Because now what you're saying to me, I don't even believe what you're saying or want to cook the meal that you're suggesting because your house is nasty. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see I don't want to see your 10 months worth of laundry. Angle that phone in that little bitty corner. And that's all we get is that little corner of your little meatloaf. That's it. Just show us a little ramekin. We only can eat 6 ounces anyway. Just show us the 6 ounces of food you're preparing. Don't show us what's in the background. Or better yet, just put it on your notes and screenshot it and then post it on your story. So we don't got to see the demonstration. Because now I believe you. I don't believe you out here making your mama mad. Your grandmama is not proud of your messy ass house. She's pissed actually. Don't do the ancestors like that. Clean that shit up, okay? Clean up. I don't want to see you pouring your profi with dishes in the sink from 3 days ago and the dirty counter, little spaghetti ring stains on the countertop. I don't want to see it. It's mad at the
That sounds a lot like my kitchen after I put in that work. And it irks the shit out of me to see a dirty stove. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm in the kitchen all the time. But if you're going to set up a tripod, if your camera covers a certain radius, certain surface of your kitchen and your kitchen ain't up to par, just don't eat. Don't eat. Don't cook for that day.
Just clean up that part. Just clean up or don't show it.
That part.
The good thing about the internet, I was telling somebody the other day that, I think that my image on Instagram is very curated. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to see me with a picture when you got double chins. I'm just not going to post that. I get to choose what I post. If my kitchen is a mess, I'm not posting my kitchen. Y'all, can y'all give us all the common courtesy and not post it? That's a mess.
But dirty. You know what, Elle? I don't think that they really know, because this is how they used to live it. And it's not, and I get what you're saying. And I saw somebody had posted something the other day, and they might have felt like their kitchen was clean, but it was cluttered with a lot of extra shit. Like, all on the shelves, they got all the old ass appliances and shit that they don't use no more. It's like the appliance graveyard, and you got little kids running and flipping across the counter, and you got cats. Some people might have a couple of roaches that's having the roach Olympics, and they flipping off the damn top of the stove off the venter hood into the pot.
I think that right now, since we're staying home, this is the perfect opportunity for all of us to clean up the appliances that have died and gone on to baby Jesus. We can take out that juicer, because I'm sure we all did some juice diets, and we're not doing that no more. Take that juice to the Goodwill and pass it on to the next person struggling. Like, all those clutter, I can't stand stuff on countertops. Like, and I'm not, your clean don't gotta be my clean. I know that I got some very compulsive tendencies, so I'm not saying that. However, though, you don't gotta have a dirty kitchen sink. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to be cooking on a dirty stove. Or like you showing us your refrigerator and you got like Kool-Aid spilled and dried up. Like, you ain't got to do that. I'm not saying it got to look, immaculate, like you got it made, but it also ain't got to be nasty. I don't want to.
Somebody must have really pissed you off. That sounds really specific, especially if you have a small kitchen too. Even the clutter, if you don't maintain and organize it, makes your kitchen look dirty.
Yeah.
And then if you have like all these grease stains and stuff like that, then you're just adding. Your
recipe is now null and void. It could be the best recipe in the world, but because you just prepared it in that nasty kitchen, it has now been voided. My favorite, it's like low carb something, but she makes the air fryer dishes. Like, she puts stuff in the air fryer. Literally, she makes the video, and then after the video, she shows you cleaning up her countertops in her kitchen. Like, it's all a part of the cooking process. Like, sister, clean up your kitchen. That's all from my rant. I'm done. Good night.
It's a good rant. It's a good rant.
Man. Damn good rant. Perfect segue into the topic of the night. Perfect segue. Tonight, I hate you so much right now. We all at a point, and I've talked to so many people about this. I had this conversation with somebody recently, and that's kind of what sparked the whole topic of before, when we were overweight, confidence level for some of us might not have been there. And so much so that we would allow ourselves to be taken advantage of by either your spouse, significant other, family members, or friends. And there would be so much complacency there because they'd be like, oh, I know Kid going, you know, I can do whatever the hell I want with Kid. Kid, you know, he ain't really feeling himself or blah, blah, blah. So, you know, it's Kid. Who cares? But, hey, post-op, you start losing the weight. You start feeling yourself. Guess what? Confidence is regained. You become a better person. And then you're thinking to yourself, why did I allow myself to put up with such bullshit when I really didn't have to? You know, was it just because I was fat and people took advantage of me and they made me feel a certain way? So, yeah, that's kind of where we're going with the topic tonight. And a lot of relationships are now soured because of that. And that's not really a bad thing. It's really a good thing because it puts you into a better situation, because when we change our health, that goes for mental health as well. So we're not just going physically, we're changing mental health. So that's kind of what we're jumping into. So at this point, you know, hey, we're going to round robin it like we always do. Who want to tackle it first? Chris, you got it, bro.
So believe it or not, I've actually had a lot of people, not a lot of people, but a handful that have inboxed me and are curious about like the mental aspect of this process. I have a lot of people that are very forthcoming with the information and that straight up tell me that, oh, I'm leaving my partner. I'm in the middle of a life change. I'm about to move. And it's like this process before, when you were overweight, like held you back, like psychologically, like something didn't unlock itself in your mind. Like, and it's a self-esteem thing. It's a confidence thing. We're afraid to speak up for ourselves. We're afraid to speak our mind. Like we're afraid to say the wrong thing because we don't want to get hurt or we don't want to feel like abandoned. But then after the process and you realize how far you've come, you're just like, how silly is it of me to think that my weight was holding me back from making life decisions? So people have confided in me and have told me that their relationships are no good. You know, they're sour, and they're really realizing people's true colors, the way people speak, the way, you know, and what was there before was never there after surgery, because you were just holding on to something, just that insecurity or false hope that it would work. And I always tell people, like, the mental aspect of it, it's something that you don't understand until you go through it. And I just caution people just to be observant and just to understand who you are as a person before you can understand other people. Because once you have self-clarity and where you fall and how you interact, you're going to be true to yourself no matter what. It's those that change around you as a result of this process. So relationships turn sour. And these are coming from couples or, you know, partnerships that have put in years of work, that their partner's just like, no more, I'm done. I left this person. I'm gonna get up and move, pack my shit, and I'm gonna start a new life. And that's what it is. So it's a lot of coming to realization after this surgery.
Yeah, I think for me, it's shown up mostly. I've always been a real, like, speak my mind. You don't get to talk to me or treat me however you want to treat me type of person. Even at my heaviest, and I think it stemmed from childhood. My grandmama and my mama put in my mind that was what I required, and so to be very clear about what I require from people, and that whole saying that people treat you how you show them to treat you. So I teach you how you treat me, and so I've always been that way. I think the biggest thing, I think I told y'all this earlier, that resonates for me is, like, I think now what I require of my partner is different. So I've always required, like, you don't get to cheat on me and I come back, or you don't get to talk to me crazy or call me names. Like, that has always been a baseline requirement. But now I find myself least attractive or less attractive or not attractive to men who don't have some type of pride in their health. So, like, men that like eating McDonald's, first of all, that's always been a no. If you're eating at McDonald's, like, we're not compatible at all, because I'm not eating that. But, like, the idea of, like, men that aren't interested in cooking whole foods and eating whole foods, or don't have some sort of activity, even if that's playing basketball for an hour with your little cousins, like, men that don't have that, I find myself, you could be fine and be, you know what I'm saying, an executive at a small credit union or whatever. Like, you could be everything I'm looking for, but I find myself extremely uninterested in even carrying on conversations with men, particularly that don't have, like, some interest in something, right? Like if I tell you I'm about to work out and you make a comment like, oh, you always working out, and I really only work out for 30 minutes, and so that's not even a lie. Like I'm already like, okay, this not gonna work. So I know like that's been a change up for me, because a year ago, I probably was turning up my nose at the folks that worked out, you know? So that's definitely a change for me. Is like, I still like stocky, you know, built men, but I want you to be built and work out. I want you to have I want you to care about your health and what your insides look like. I think in a way, like I think I changed up in that way. Like what I require looks different. Yeah, I think that's the only way that I could really think of it showing up for me, like that switch up part.
Sure. Ash.
I kind of feel like I was like Loni to a certain extent, because like, you know, I feel like we were all a very attractive people, like at our past weight.
Sure.
So I had standards, but I gave people a lot of chances, and I was very forgiving. I was too forgiving. And if I had the mindset, like Chris said, like now, there would have been a lot of people that would have been out of my life a long time ago because they were selfish. They were very needy. They never returned it. They never returned that energy back. And I would have been strong enough to be like, I don't need you. Because at that weight, it was triggering to lose anybody, right? Like everybody, I needed all of those people. When now, like, I won't say I won't need anybody, but my circle is so secure and so tight that I'm good.
Right.
Like 150 pounds ago, like when people said no new friends, I was like, no, I love new friends. Like I want to make all the friends. But now I'm like, yeah, like I don't need no new friends. Like I'm good. Like I'm okay. I enjoy my free time, my alone time. I enjoy my husband and like my people that I care about. And I have no interest in pouring into anybody that's not pouring back into me. So I would have been very much so like aware of like, yeah, you full of shit. And would have been okay with calling them out on their bullshit. But before I was like, I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be an ass. But like that confidence I have now to be like, you know what? It don't seem like you're interested in a friendship the way that I am. And I would be able to tell it to somebody and be able to walk and exit stage, you know? So yeah, there's definitely a change there.
And don't you find it weird though that we used to actually to think like that? We're like, man, you don't want to rock the boat because you don't want to be left out. You don't want to be that person that's left out. We've already got the stigma attached to us that, hey, I'm a big person, so it's going to be harder for people to want to hang with me because they'd be like, hey, you know, you're taking up space. You know, that's the thing with some people. You know, you taking up space over here, so hell, we got to figure out how we going to ride, or when we get places, how we going to not only make him comfortable, but I don't want to be uncomfortable. So you already don't want to be left out in the cold. So you tend to put up with more bullshit sometimes just to stay in a circle. When now you be like, fuck you and your circle, you know. And I would be the type of person that I didn't really put up or take a lot of shit. A mouth off of people, I always had some comeback. But I'm not gonna lie, deep down, you know, you walk away from situations. I mean, it bothered me. You know, I would be remiss and lie if I say it didn't bother me. And then, you know, certain things would sting, or, you know, those some of them daggers would hurt. You know, it would hit home. But people would be like, well, you know, I don't really give a fuck because, you know, you lucky that I'm in your life. And that's how people made you feel. You know, you lucky that I'm even hanging around your ass. You know, you should consider yourself the lucky one, because if it wasn't for me, some of these other people wouldn't be around you either. And that's just the unfortunate side of it. But I mean, you know, to get confidence and to be able to get the strength to just completely walk away from people. And I'm talking about some people that's been with people for years, many years. And they have, you know, been a doormat for so long. But to get that, that's the best feeling in the world, is to take yourself back and take yourself out of a bad situation that wasn't conducive to anything.
Yeah. I think what's been really upsetting. Oh, no, go ahead, Chris.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, like whenever people like to throw it in your face, like you're being this way because you've lost weight, because it's like a slap in your face. It's like, so are you upset that I'm taking up for myself? Like, you should be proud of me. Like, you should want me to stand up for myself. So that's kind of like my cue to like, you always like, yeah, you think it's some nasty stuff and I don't want nothing to do with you because you're upset because I've lost this weight.
Yeah.
You know what? And then before in being heavier, you know, in general, I think we tend to make excuses for ourselves. Like we settle for the way people treat us, and we settle for the negative talk and the interaction and stuff like that. And you ever see those shows where you have like a superhero or like an icon that embodies everything good? You know, the smarts, just the superhero, the iconic role model, and then you realize he has one kryptonite. He's addicted to drugs or something that ruins your image. And kind of taking people for who they are, that were more physically and more healthy than I was, just like what liveliness do they have? What energy do they have? Like I want that. Like all the good qualities you see in a role model, I want all these qualities in all these like healthy, happy people. And then you lose the weight and it's just like, oh, this is it? Oh, this is how people are. Like I've exposed everybody's kryptonite. Understand what I'm saying? So to be that emotional punching bag, it's years, and we just let it all build up. And like you said, Ash, when we change and start to stick up for ourselves, people really get upset. They're just like, oh, weren't you that former fat guy? Weren't you the one that I was just telling fat jokes to, that you weren't saying nothing to me then, but now you got mouth now? And, so you definitely feel it. They won't come out and say it, but you feel the attitude. And I know a lot of people, but I keep my circle very small. I know a lot of people keep my circle small. So that's just what it is. If you're here to ride, then let's ride. But that's it.
I'm thinking, because I always feel like when I say, oh, I can't relate to that. I think that was my first reaction when we talked about this topic. Like, I can't really relate to that. But I've had this realization on the show before, and I think that's like, I think back to it some more, and I can. My family is fat. My friends was fat. My circle and my network was fat. Like, I was with fat people. Like, that was and we called each other curvy. We was loving it, and it was wonderful, right? Like, we belonged together. It was good. But I think back to, like, times where I would deliberately not show up. I think of a step show when I was an undergrad, and how people wanted me so bad to perform in the step show, but I was just worried about, what will I look like? What if my knees give out and I, drop it low and my knees give out? Or what if there's no outfit that fit me, right? Like, things that may not even be a problem. Like, what if I can't find an outfit to coordinate with y'all, and so all y'all outfit is messed up? Or even family cookouts and reunions, I would find a reason not to go. I'll always blame my allergies. 2 years ago, I remember faking a whole allergy fit, like making myself sick, just so that my family would not pressure me to go, because I didn't want the rest of my family, who I hadn't seen in a long time, see 420-pound me. So it's like, I wouldn't even be in situations to where people would get the opportunity to talk bad to me or to look down on me, because I would just isolate myself. And I wasn't calling it isolation. I was calling it, it's too hot outside, and it's the first 48 minutes on. And so I'm going to lay on the couch, and I'm going to read my book, I'm going to drink my water, and I'm going to watch first 48. And those things that was contentment to me. And I still find pleasure in those things. Do not get me wrong. I would choose to be at home any day of the week. But now it's because I want to be there, versus it's like, this is my hiding place. It was almost like my turtle shell was my home to keep me from having to deal with people, to give them the opportunity to judge me for being too big. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like thinking back, I can see how it's like, I can't think of how my personality has changed, because I kept myself from being in situations to where I had to be something different, right? So now when you see me and my nose is turned up, you can't say, oh, it's like that because you lost weight. No, it's probably always been like that, but I don't know, because I used to be in the house to avoid you. So it's like this, it's like layers, I guess, like an onion, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole bunch of layers to how it worked out and how it manifested for me.
Absolutely. I just, and it's crazy because, I was in a similar situation where all of us were big, family wise, and it's no worse feeling than having all eyes on you when you walk into a restaurant. And not only was I big, my dad, everybody. So we all coming into a restaurant, and all of us are big, all eyes on us. You can see people making jokes, laughing. I mean, it's just not a good feeling. And so now, you want to try to help others get to a situation to where we are. You know, I've had a cousin that has called me, you know, that said, hey, man, I want to get this procedure done. And it's just generational things that we're trying to help fix. And in trying to help fix things, unfortunately, the downside of it is that we lose relationships with people that we did love and probably still love. But it's just like Elle said, it's just the fact that, hey, it was probably always been like this, but now that we are actually in the same space and spending some time together, you know, we recognize that, hey, this is not going to work. This is toxic. So, and in efforts to continue to build on what we have started and continue with that foundation, it's just like with a nice house. You know, sometimes you come out and you see them, they've laid the foundation, but they're continuously working on other places and projects. But you're going to come back to this foundation and continuously build on it. You're not going to come in with subpar materials to build a garbage ass house. So we trying to get rid of what we consider to be a garbage body, because it is treating us like garbage because we sick behind it. So now we've leveled it. We've leveled this house that we formerly had to the foundation, to the roots, and now we building on it. So I'm coming in with prime ass materials. I'm building my house, and it's going to be phenomenal. So I don't have time for nobody else and they bullshit that's going to bring me some bullshit ass materials. And then next thing you know, the shit is cracked on the side, and I'm having to replace stuff within 1 to 2 years. So, I mean, my thing is I'd rather just walk away and, you know, clean break. And if it comes back around and you can respect me for me and my new life after the fact, then we might be able to revisit this situation. But probably 9 times out of 10, we probably won't.
What would y'all advice be for somebody that is leaving? Like, would you give them a list of things to do before they did leave that relationship?
I think it depends on the type of relationship, because I am in a place now to where I'm mourning an adult friendship, like a friendship that I've had since I was 7. And so that looks different because we're friends and there's no, like, we don't have no property. We don't have any kids. We've never slept together, right? Like, this is a platonic friendship. And I think a part of me is we've outgrown each other. And then 2, I think that we were a crutch for one another in our bigger bodies. And so I think that it depends on the type of relationship. If it's a friendship like that, I mean, I think either way it goes, I think that you have to assess, like, envision your life without this person. I think that's the only thing that I can say. Like, imagine if this person did not exist. You know, are you with them because y'all got half a mortgage or y'all got half a rent? And so when is your lease over, right? Like, can you stay in this platonically until your lease is over? Or is it to where it's toxic and you got to get out by any means necessary? Like, I would really, like, sit down and figure out, like, what do I need from this person, and can they give it to me? And have I communicated what I need? And if they cannot, what does my life look like without them? Right? Like, can I be okay without this person? And I really do pray that the answer is yes to all of those things. And if at some point you get to a place to where you have, like, a no to one of those, are you codependent? Is it healthy that you're dependent? Or is this like this is my life partner and I'm going to be with them? Like, I think my piece of advice would be, like, figure out what your life looks like without that person in it. And is it okay for you?
I think, great point. I think my piece of advice would be make a list of all the things you would do different, or make a list of just different approaches. What were you doing in this relationship or in this interaction or this moment with someone, or for the course that you've been with each other? And then moving on, starting fresh, what would your approach be? What would you do different that you've kind of settled for then? You know, what didn't make you happy then that could make you happy now in this relationship? So I guess definitely, because we're all about goals, definitely make a list of, you know, what you would do different, how you would approach somebody different, or how you would approach anything differently. And then, you know, and then take it from there.
I mean, I think just, you know, piggybacking off of what Lonnie and Chris was saying, as far as, you know, our list goes, I think too, you got to also look at it, especially if you are in a marriage, if you're in that type of situation, you got to look at it like Elle was saying, can you really move on without this person? What do y'all got vested together? Are there kids involved? It's a lot of stuff that goes on. And I don't know why I'm on some analogy shit today. I don't know. It's just different. But anyway, you got to look at it like you got this car that you've invested all this time in that you really love, but you're not just going to get rid of it immediately. You're going to exhaust all measures before you be like, okay, look, I done dumped all this money into it. Now it's time to get rid of it. I can't do anymore. I can't go anymore from this. So that's the side of it that I would say, look at it from, you know, you're going to do everything that you possibly can if it's worth salvaging to you, if it's something that you want to even consider. Because like El says, so you might be in a situation to where, you know, for my sanity, I need to go right now. Now that's totally different. But if it's something that, you know, we could probably compromise and we can work on some stuff, as long as they respecting you and the new you, which is not a bad you, it's just the person that you should have been in the beginning all along, but you weren't allowed to, and you weren't able to do that because, like the topic says, I hate you so much right now. I meant that as in myself. You know, I've hated myself so much that I have allowed you to walk all over me. So now I'm taking that back. So yeah, that's where I am with that.
And I just want to add to that, kid. We have the right to change at any point in time, and we don't owe anybody an explanation for that. If I literally change my mind in this very moment, I have that right. Like, whether it's wise or it's not wise, whatever it is, right? Like, I have the decision to make that choice for myself that I want something different, and then I get to walk in that. So just be very clear. You don't owe nobody nothing, sis. I'm talking not nobody. Not like you get to be exactly who you want to be. So the previous years of us not loving on our body and not taking care of our body, like that is clearly in our past. Them days are dead and gone. And so right now, today, if you decide that you want out of that relationship with that man that does not compliment you in your size smaller jeans, does not build you up, does not hold your hair when you got the foamies, if that man is not being what you need and y'all been together 10 years and got 2 kids, sis, if you are ready to go because you want better, you get to go. Like, I don't know any other way around it. Like, I want people to know, if you don't know nothing else, I want you to know that you got the right to change your mind. You wanted lasagna for dinner at 9 o'clock this morning, but dinner time came around and you decided you wanted to make Spicy Poppy's Christmas hamburger helper. Baby, guess what? You get to have hamburger helper. You don't know nothing else from Loni. The People's Pantry is here for whole health. So protect your peace at all costs. That man, hell, them damn kids, ain't nobody worth your peace. Go in your room and close the door. They ain't worth it. Ashli, what's your advice, therapist bae? What's your advice?
Like, and all you guys said, like, exhaust all opportunities, ask for what you want. Your compromise is good, but I don't want anybody to be scared asking for what they need, and those needs change. And sometimes we can be more afraid of the conversation before the conversation even happens. So I just hope that if anybody is in that situation, that they just say like, I need to talk to you about what I've been thinking or feeling. And like, I hope you can receive it. Like, this is not me attacking you. Like, give a preface. I'm not attacking you. I'm not saying that like you're completely the problem. I'm just telling you what I need. Can you meet me halfway so that we can both be met? And sometimes I feel like if you have that preface for like, this is my intention, it kind of takes away the fear, so the other person won't be aggressive towards you. I think they won't be like what you saying, like talking nasty or bad about me. So that's my 2 cents. Like, I want everybody to be happy, and sometimes it's a hard place to be with after weight loss surgery, especially in a relationship. And then, like Loni said, platonic or in like a committed relationship, you know, needs change.
All the time.
And that's okay. That is okay.
Hey man, I think that was a perfect way to put this to bed. Hell.
Yeah.
It was perfect. I think that we get to go now to a listener letter. So I must admit, I have not read this letter. But we ready. I might have some little sidebar words for Ked before, or I might not. So we gonna see. Also, y'all this is my other confession. I always want to like Google search the people that send the letters if they don't put their names. Like, sometimes they tell us who they are, like their IG or whatever, and sometimes they're anonymous. I always want to find them so I can put a picture to who they are. I just want to see your face. I want to see you. That's it. Okay. So this is an anonymous one, I believe. So it said the subject line is asking for a friend. First off, love y'all. So, as you know, The longer we follow people and interact with them, the more you learn about them. Child, who you telling? I have followed someone for about a year and a half, but the more I learn about them, I feel like they are fraudulent.
Damn.
Wrong word.
I don't think I was expecting that. Okay. They are fraudulent. Okay. They love to pretend that they are so transparent and love to have these deep ass conversations just to hear themselves talk. Bruh. Okay. But I can't help but feel like they are in some ways taking advantage of someone else in the community who I consider a real friend, and they are using my friend's resources to boost their own Instagram fame or stardom. The perp is incredibly outgoing and fun, but I notice they like to repeat things they have stolen from others and also just have a lot of inconsistencies in their stories. And basically they are fake. The friend doesn't want to ruffle any feathers, but I hate them being taken advantage of. Can you hook me up with some lyrics to call this SOB out? Thanks in advance, Susie. First of all, I just feel like y'all have heard me rant about this, and I want to be very clear. I swear to God, I did not submit this letter. I want to, like, that's my disclaimer. I didn't write this. Yeah, it's wild. That's wild.
Yeah.
I feel like I experienced that in this weight loss community. I do feel like there are people who are fake transparent and fraud. I actually could think of one person in particular in my mind who people honestly have come to me and told me like their posts have been triggering to them, or their posts make them feel away or feel uncomfortable, or that they have just said really unkind things. So it's kind of reassuring to hear one of our listeners kind of coming from that same place, because it lets us know that we're on the right track. Like we are not like making stuff up, pulling things out of hats to address and talk about. All I'll say to keep from being too, like, that's tender to me, because I have been harmed personally in a way from someone in this community that is tender. That's a tender topic for me. So just to not move into that, I will just say, kindness is freaking free. Kindness is free, and all of us, including the four of us sitting right here on your computer screens or your television, shout out to Terry who watches on TV, whatever, like wherever you are, like we all are doing something or coming from a place of something, right? And if this community ain't nothing else, like we got to be kind to one another, because we know what it feels like for people to be unkind to us. And so it's super unfortunate. I'm sorry to your friend. Tell your friend that I'm sending them hugs. Like, yeah, I think the fraud person, yeah, man, that shit sucks. It sucks. I don't know. Ashley, Chris, before Kate go, y'all got something?
Ooh, child. So there's a feature that you can use the block button, but if you don't like block, you can hide stories from someone where they can't see your story, your Insta story, or they can't see your post. Because I had someone that I didn't know her, but she was sending me very weird shit, very things that were very inappropriate and uncomfortable. So I just hid her. And then she said something else, and then I took to Loni, and then we blocked her. So eventually, you got to protect your peace, baby. And I'm sorry that that's happening and that you're witnessing that. And because we are usually very empathetic people, something like this can be very heavy. And it's something that even me being an overthinker, that I can think about, because I just hate seeing others mistreat others. So I understand where you're coming from. And I hope that something can happen so that that person isn't bothering you or your friend. Kid, what do you think?
Feature, that feature, that hide feature is strong. I love that shit. I love it. But it is unfortunate. And I think kind of in certain ways, people in this community, if they see that you're going through a tough time, they kind of like to play on that and kind of like expose your weakness, so to speak, and kind of make you feel like invaluable, like feel like you're not worthy of anything. So I really do apologize. Some of these people, and I'm still experiencing it myself, some people in this community can be very harsh, very abrasive, and very judgmental. But that block button is strong. That block button is strong. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's that fraudulent person's loss. They have to go the rest of their life just being a suckish, dirty person. And that's a tough way to go about life. Like being a crappy person. Like, but I wish peace on this individual and their friend.
Can I just add to that, Christian? You made me think of like the idea that of the theft of the content. I think we talked about that. We called it. I think I called it like social media plagiarism or something.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like that to me is like that person outside of social media, right? Like we talked about your image being very curated. They have curated this image online, and they are bringing that online to be someone that they are not in real life. So what I have done in my mind to try and condition myself, because my peace is important to me, and to not take that off, is that they literally get online to find happiness. They are on the internet. They are posting these things. They're stealing these things. They're being this, you know, this very all-knowing, this very wise now weight loss guru. They're doing that because offline they are suffering. They're either lonely or they have something else. Their home relationships are not great. Their relationships with their friends or their family, like there's something else going on. And so in my efforts to be grateful for the life that I have right now, because I have a very, very blessed life, to be grateful for that and to keep that at the forefront of my mind, I just think through like, they're a sick person. They're sick. Something is not well. Like their mental has a cold. They got the flu in their mind. And that is the only way that I can like continue to be okay and not be hung up on the stuff that they do and let it bother me to the point to where I'm always talking about it, because they're not well. They gotta take my content. They have to be mean to you. They have to present as this guru, because they are simply not well. That's it. That's to the friend, whoever, this fraud person. What if we're talking about the same person? You'll never know. This fraud person is not well, so forget them. Okay, give us some lyrics so we can, for this, I think they call him an SOB.
Yeah, they call a person SOB. I think that person is whoever sent the letter in is really taking this personally, because apparently the person that they're doing this to is a really dear friend to you. So I give both you and your friend three songs. I thought about this one a lot. I had a bunch of songs. I was going to be on some old crazy shit, but I think in this situation, you know, it's kind of tread lightly, you know, going into this, because of, you know, it's your friend and it's a sensitive situation. So the first track that I came up with, and a lot of people have remade this song, it's Smiling Faces sometimes. The version that I think about is from Temptations. And I mean, but the lyrics resonate with every situation. The first verse is smiling faces sometimes to pretend to be your friend. Smiling faces show no traces of evil that lurks within. Smiling faces sometimes. They don't tell the truth, tell lies, and I got proof. The truth is in the eyes, because the eyes don't lie. That is one of the biggest facts. If you can, Virgos are good for this, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Virgo, but I know this to be fact. We can tell people, we can see your bullshit a mile away. We might not act on it at the time, but when we do, yeah, I mean, you done fucked up. So it says, remember, a smile is just a frown turned upside down. My friend, let me tell you, smiling faces sometimes, they don't tell the truth. It says the second verse, though, it says, beware of the handshake that hides the snake. I'm telling you, beware. Beware of the pat on the back. It just might hold you back. Jealousy, misery, envy, I tell you, you can't see behind smiling faces. So these people are all of that. This person has got all of this disdain for you and your friend, or your friend rather, but they smiling in their face. So you got to beware of smiling faces. Definitely beware of smiling faces. So the next joint I got is a classic. It's the OJ's, Backstabbers. Same thing. It goes back to this smile. It says what they do. They smile in your face all the time. They want to take your place. The Backstabbers. If you know them lyrics, Backstabbers. Yeah, it's a. Now, in this instance, it's talking about a man and a woman, but this is the same thing about your friend who is getting taken advantage of by his content. So we're going to pretend that your friend is the man, but his content is his woman. So you can take these lyrics and apply it. It said, all you fellas who have someone and you really care, then it's all of you fellas who better beware. Somebody's out to get your lady. A few of your buddies, they sure look shady. Blades are long, clenched tight in their fist, aiming straight at your back, and I don't think they'll miss. What they do, they smiling in your face. All the time they want to take your place. Them backstabbers. You got to be aware of all of that. They smiling. That's the worst kind of person. That's not, I don't even say that they're a friend, but that's the worst kind of person to know. And deep down, your friend knows what's going on, but they don't want to rock the boat. That goes back to what we talked about earlier with the confidence thing and the complacency. If you part of the weight loss community, like I know you probably are, because that's what we targeted, then sis or bruh, whoever you are, you ain't got to put up with that shit no more. Call this son bitch out like your friend that got your back just said, but they respecting your peace. But I think your friend gonna step outside that piece. Last track I got, and we're gonna put this to bed. It's actually titled Friends. One of the greatest hip hop groups of all time, Houdini. Classic joint. It's the chorus goes, friends. I really just want to start doing the beat to this song because the beat is bananas. How many of us have them? Friends. I'm gonna start this over. It says friends. How many of us have them? Friends, ones we can depend on. Friends, how many of us have them? Before we go any further, let's be friends. I want y'all to go listen to this song because, yeah, the beat is bananas, but it resonated. A lot of songs have a whole lot of deep meaning. And to even say that before we go any further, let's be friends. A lot of y'all take this shit out of context. You get into relationships with people, entanglements, that's the new word of the summer. You start doing shit with people and you didn't even become friends first. That's important. So the verse to this song, it says, friends is a word we use every day. Most of the time we use it in the wrong way. You can look the word up again and again, but the dictionary doesn't know the meaning of friends. And if you ask me, I couldn't be much help because a friend is somebody you judge for yourself. Some are okay and they treat you real cool, but some mistake kindness for being a fool. That happens to a lot of us in the overweight community. They take our kindness for being a fool. We like to be with some because they're funny. That was us too. Others come around when they need some money. Some you grew up with around the way and you're still real close to this very day. Elle just talked about that. Somebody she grew up with, 7 years old. That's all a part of it. Homeboys through the summer, winter, spring, and fall. And then there's some we wish we never knew at all. The list goes on again and again. But these are the people that we call friends. I'm putting that to bed. You got to really think about that. Go back and listen to the lyrics to this song. It's another couple of verses that you need to listen to, but it's all relevant to this whole thing that we call friendships, because we've been wanting to be friends with people because we desire that. We want to be accepted, but now we ain't got to put up with that shit no more. So I implore you to step to your friend and tell your friend, hey, you ain't really got to rock the boat, but you can put this son bitch off your boat. Just occupying your space. Those are my lyrics to go, baby. Thanks for the letter. We appreciate the love. We really do. And yeah, kick it over to my girl, Ash.
Yeah, so words of wisdom with Therapist Bay tonight is pretty much, first, if you are someone where you are around people and they're taking advantage of you, just make sure that you're just taking a necessary list that we all gave you. Like, tell them what you need. It's okay for your needs to change. Or if you're trying to advocate for a friend, one, I need you to ask for their permission first to make that step. So we need to get permission, because sometimes people like being in misery. And if that person wants to be in misery, there's nothing that you can do to get them out of that. So my word is that we need to ask for permission first. And then if they give you that permission, you give them that support, and you either do it with them or you do it for them. Okay? So that's my words of wisdom for you. And you need to ask the question, what are you really scared of? If that person isn't adding value to your life, like Loni said, can I see my life without them? And if your life looks happy without them, I need you to do it. Like, there's fear in the unknown, but if your unknown is like a beautiful story without this person, I need you to walk into the unknown. I need you to stop hiding. Like, I need you to stop hiding. And when we stop hiding, you get the kid, the Chris and the Loni, these wonderful stories, and you get to follow our journeys, and you see how happy we are. And everybody deserves this happiness. And you can get this happiness without surgery. This free game. You don't need the surgery for this happiness. You can do this shit now. So those are words of wisdom with Therapist Bay.
Man, I need y'all to rewind that minute from when that started and watch that again. As a matter of fact, when this episode drop on Monday, I'm gonna cut that clip and we're gonna post that part first. Say that again. Come on, somebody. You finna preach up in here. Bishop, come on, Bishop there, Miss Bay, up in here preaching.
Take a sip. Go ahead. Take a sip.
Then turn water into wine over there.
Hey.
You just turn, the water into wine. You drinking that wine, Bishop. Go ahead.
Yeah, it is. Bishop. The doors of the church is now open, baby. The doors of the church.
They're now open.
Chris, take us home. Collection plate.
Look. I mean, Ashley closed it out perfectly, but there you have it, everybody. We just laid it out on the table. We hope that this changes somebody's life and opens up opportunities for you guys. And hopefully for some of you tuning in, life starts now, and it's all about you. Your happiness matters, and you guys going through this process right now, you guys are all going to kick ass. So, with that being said, you can find us collectively at peoples.pantry on Instagram. You can find me at spicypoppychris_. And for all those listener letters, you know where to find us. If there's something that's on your mind or troubling you, please send them our way so we could address it and smash it. So, Ash, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram at VSG_Ashli. What about you, kid? Where can we find you?
You can find me at Ashli Believe the Hype on IG. Loni, L Boogie.
I am rny.bypass.beauty. rny.bypass.beauty. Or you can go to the People's Pantries page and click my it's already linked for you in the bio. I'm right there. So if I ever get it wrong, you can find me right there. I'll be here every Monday, right here with y'all. That's it. Good night, y'all. Good morning. Good evening.
Have a good night, everybody.
Mwah.